Make sure YouTube's working. Says I'm live. Oh, there it is. I got audio. Mic's working. I can hear the fire cracking. That's a good sign. Yep. YouTube's working just fine. Sweet. So if YouTube's working, now I can go and go live here. Go live. Make sure it's working over on TikTok. Which account am I on? I'm on this account. Okay. Good water. Should be live. We've gone live there. Following. It's popping up. I got audio. I can hear myself and I have game audio. Perfect. Look at that TikTok working right off the rip. That never happened. Alrighty then. I popped. I have extra scaffolding. Alright. Seems like everything's working, not too frame ratey. Comfy in my chair here. And should be getting it good to go. Everything seems like it's working. I'll take it. Drop off some scaffolding, grab some extra rockets, and be good to start the tour. Drop off the extra scaffolding. While we're waiting for everybody to get in, I will go craft up some more rockets, actually. I have a feeling I'm going to go through a lot of rockets and a lot of food. Alright. Gonna need some paper. Gonna need some gunpowder. That should be more than enough to get me through this stream. Alrighty then. I would say that's enough fireworks for a world tour. We'll see if I end up needing more or not. It is time, yep. Just waiting for people to start filing in. Hey, Dracos. Alrighty, I can leave the paper here. Don't need it. Got extra rockets. Get the extra rockets. Put those away. What do I have for food on me? You know, worst comes to worst, I have a ton of cooked chicken, so we'll go with that. Alright, we're gonna start at spawn. Got 3 minutes before it's 8 o'clock. I got 2 different times up right now, so we'll see. Alrighty then. Give it a couple more minutes before we start the tour. Looks like both YouTube and TikTok. 8:06 according to your phone. It's saying 8:06 for me, but we'll give people a couple minutes. I said the people in the stream earlier, I'd give them a few minutes to get in before we start the world tour. So, no rush getting in. It's going to take about 2 hours to get through everything. 2 hours to 3 hours. So, I'm not in that much of a rush. We'll give them till 8:10 before I start showing things off. That way people don't, nothing gets missed. And go from there. Hopefully everybody had a good couple hours off. Try to get some people back in here that were here in the earlier live before I went and grabbed something to eat. What do we want to start with? Jericho, she's the only one in here. What are we thinking of starting with? I'm gonna start with spawn and then just start making my way through my nether hub. But I was thinking maybe not start with spawn and then go through like starter bases and stuff like that. Figured that's the best way to go through the live. Works for you? Alright, good to know. Give it. Gotta remember all the things I have in this world. Jumping in circles, waiting to start the live. 2 minutes and we'll start the start the world tour. Plenty of rockets, light just healed up. All good. Q-Dog, I see you're in here. I see you like in the live. I see you in here. Alright, 1 minute before I start showing stuff off. I wonder if I can load a countdown onto TikTok. Hey, Aiden, how are you doing? Waiting to get the world tour started. Just kind of spinning in circles right now. I told everybody I'd give 10 minutes at the beginning, so waiting till 8:10 to officially start it. You can. I saw one on another stream. Okay. Good to know. Definitely do that in the future. All right, it is 8:10. I'm going to go ahead and start the world tour. So this is my Survival World Farmtopia. Anybody who's been a long-term follower of me, most of my video series comes from this world. This is spawn. Believe it or not, spawn is like right in this general area right here. And it obviously looks a lot different now, but this is kind of where I keep a collection of just random items, starting with all the different types of flowers, all the different types of trees, my first enchanting table, all 4 of my beacons, so diamond beacon, gold, emerald, and iron. I don't have a netherite beacon. I have no intention of getting a netherite beacon, but so I keep those. This is the Great Wall of Farms. Every light you see on here is a different automatic farm in the world. We're going to go through and see all of these farms throughout the live. You'll see stuff from like bone meal to slime farms, moss farms, cactus. There's a whole bunch on this list, and we're going to go through them all. These are my axolotls. I've been going through and trying to breed them up to get the super rare light blue one. Still working on that. This is their little enclosure. This was a boredom project I did over here where I was collecting all the different colored items. I realized after all this that I didn't include beds, so I'm gonna have to go back through and get all the beds for here. This is my tower. This is one of the oldest builds in the world. It sat unfinished for a very, very long time. A little while ago, I finally sat down, went back, and finished it. I say a little while ago, probably about a year ago. It's pretty simple. Underneath, just kind of basic layout. There used to be a chest monster here. It has since been removed. If we go up the water stream, you'll get to what I call my penthouse. So this is about the extent of my ability to interior decorate, is this little area right here. So it has not changed in well over a few thousand days. Again, one of the older builds here. Keep some of my valuables here, like the dragon egg, the different mob heads, my parrot, music disc, and my dog here. This is my first set of armor in the world, and I keep it all kind of collected here. Wither skull up here, you know, keep it basic. When you look out the top, you can see the collection area that we just were at, as well as some of the other builds. This is all bedrock. Good guy, quick. So that is storage. That's what we've been working on in the last few lives. I will continue working on that in live streams going forward, and we'll go take a look at it here in a little bit. If we go out the backside of the tower, you can see like this little town area back here. This world over 5,000 days and a little under 2 years ago started out as a realm with my friends. This was kind of like the little town we built for the last 4,999 days. I have been the only one living in here, but you have their different houses. I left it completely untouched as they left it, so you know, it's kind of like a relic to the past on where this world started. If we jump off the tower and fly across the town, you'll see the remainder of the first iron farm in this world. Just the skeleton of the former farm. You'll see I have half a dozen different iron farms around the world. This is where they all started from. If we keep going this way, you'll see my starter base of this world, and still one of my favorite builds here. So we go through here, you'll find the first storage hall I use, kind of like this rustic style design. And if you go in, there's still a nice, well-labeled storage system in here. Nothing too crazy, but this is what I first operated out of in this world. If I go here, this was the first house. This was my starter base, so to speak. Very simple kind of stilted, there's still a zombie over here, yep. A stilted log cabin design, nothing too fancy. The first villager breeder in the world was right here. My first crop farm, sugarcane, and for those of you who struggle with food early game, sweet berries are an incredibly easy early game food. So if you set up your sweet berries kind of like this and then left click on them, you don't need a hoe or a shears or anything. You can collect them just like this, and due to the fact of the half slabs, you won't run into them. So right there, there's 20 sweet berries and is a good, really, really good early game food. It's what I pretty much lived off of in here for the longest time. Continuing on around my starter base, had a tower for growing trees, as well as a very basic lava farm, a concrete generator, a quick collection of nether wart here, a stripped down version of a super smelter, and lastly, some bees. So nothing too fancy. A little while ago, I actually went back and restored this area. It was a little run down as I had stripped it for any of its possible materials, but I came back, rebuilt everything, and made it a little bit prettier. Take a quick sleep here, and then move on. So, this zombie is probably the oldest living zombie in this world. Due to the fact that he's holding something and has a helmet on, he'll never burn, and he has been in love with these villagers for the longest time. This guy is well over a few thousand days old. Every time I'm here, he's here. Moving along, I'm not going to fly because before I had an elytra, this was the path I used to take to my gold farm. Do I play on PC? I'm on PS5, but I do play mouse and keyboard. So going down this pathway, originally haven't changed any of it. There used to be a gate here, but since, if you look at some of my very old videos or some of my old Instagram posts, you'll see that this area used to look much different. So this is a very basic portal design gold farm. You can find about 1 million of them on YouTube. I don't do tutorials or anything like that. This is the version I use. It's a very simple one. It's been heavily updated since the early days of this farm, but this is where it used to be. If we go down below it, you'll see this is the area where they fall down and die on the trident killers. And if we continue to go down, we will find another farm. So we'll keep going down here. I can hear the bubble columns already. So down here is a glow ink farm. This is where I get all my glow squid spawns. Does a pretty good job. So anytime I am overloading the gold farm, this farm is loaded. And it's a little hard to see, but there is a minecart going back and forth collecting the glow ink. Super easy farm. Highly recommending building one if you want glowing item frames or glow ink for your signs. A glow ink farm is definitely something good to have. So coming out from underneath the gold farm, we have the original villager conversion area. So underneath here, there's a very old buried railway that used to bring villagers from my starter base over to here where they used to be converted into zombie villagers, bred up, and then there used to be a villager trading hall located in this area. Since then, this has been shut down, but all the old items are still here, like the old splash tokens of weakness, books, and stuff like that. You'll also see remnants of where the villager transfer station, any of these rails that look like this going around the world, is where I have moved villagers. So it used to be connected up to this, but has since then been taken down. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate that. And good guy quick, I'm not playing with anybody right now. It is just me. Moving along from that area, this is my villager breeder. This is a very basic design right here that supplies me with all the villagers I need in this world in order to fulfill all my worlds. I'll get my world to this, but I don't know what to build. So Billy, the best recommendation I can give you for a long-running survival world is just start building something, and if you want to build something else, go build something else. You don't need to dedicate yourself to one project at a time. You can pick away at this and that and this and that, and then eventually you'll get to a point where you're happy. I don't know if you're happy. There's always more projects. Like, even in this world, I'm always finding more projects. So this is my villager breeder, and if we run along the tracks from here, we'll get to the villager conversion area. Hi, Andreas. How are you doing? So if we come down here, this was actually a trading hall for a little while in the world before I decided to convert it into just a villager conversion area. So we have good old Dr. Zombie here, and Dr. Zombie here has done a lot of villager converting for me. Andreas, I'm doing good, man. I'm having a good day. So Dr. Zombie here has converted a lot of zombies for us, and if you play on Bedrock Edition Minecraft, a little known fact is you can actually use arrows of weakness to set up your villagers in order to cure them. But that is super helpful there. Following along the rail line, a little bit of lag right there. Following along the rail line, we have where the old villager trading hall was. So if you look on my page under things I cannot play without, you'll find a video of the old villager trading hall that used to be located here. It has since then been stripped out, and our next stopping point is actually at the new villager trading hall that I built late in 2023. But this supplied me with my villagers for a very long time. Again, continuing with the theme, anywhere you see these white concrete rails, villagers are being moved. So if we continue to follow this rail out across the ocean, you might be able to see, if you're on YouTube, you see it's loaded on the left side of the frame. And then we take a left here, we'll get to my new villager trading hall. So this is one of the newer buildings in my world. It's a very basic modern design that I use for villager trading. There is a trade for every possible item in this world at this trading hall. Kept it fairly basic. Iron golems continue to get caught in the water out front. But if you come through here and you follow the green line, you'll find my farmer villagers, a couple of butcher villagers, and a couple of shepherd villagers. Just stuff that are super easy to trade. All of my emeralds, for the most part, now come from farmer villagers, simply because I have tons of melons, and they will sell me 1 emerald for 1 pumpkin, or 1 melon for 1 emerald. So, keeps me well and supplied in redstone. If we follow the blue line at my trading hall, we come through here, we will find all my librarian villagers. Are you my friend? No, you're not one. So I have a librarian villager for every single possible maxed out enchantment. When they announced the new updates to villager trading and how librarians are going to be specific to their certain locations, I decided that I needed to go ahead and get all of the possible enchants before they changed it. So this is where I'm keeping them. They stay here. All their trades are brought down to the least expensive level. It's basic for me, Andreas. If you watch for a while, you'll see. If we follow the red line, we will see where I get most of my redstone from. So we saw my farmer villagers that I trade for emeralds, and I will come down here, and this is where I get most of my redstone. Redstone. I'm still working on getting more, but I trade with these guys here. 1 emerald for 2 redstone dust keeps me well stocked up in redstone for my world. Eventually, I'll take the time to get the rest of these stalls filled out. Moving on to the last of the villagers I have here, I have my just generic villagers. So I have toolsmiths here for all the diamond tools I could ever want, armorers for all the diamond armor I could ever want, a weaponsmith for all the weapons I could want, and then a few of the other various villagers. Villagers are a huge nuisance to work with, so I only work with villagers when I absolutely have to. I have all the enchants and a way to get easy redstone. I don't really see a way or a reason to mess with villagers too much, but I can always return to this project and continue to work on it. And I like that my trading hall security likes to just kind of hang out in the front bath. But it is what it is. Moving on, following the white rail line, we'll come to 2 farms over here. We were looking at these earlier in the live stream because we're taking this block palette and applying it to our new base, but we haven't exactly got to that yet. So this is my villager-powered crop farm. It's a fairly basic crop farm with farmer villagers. They all collect items and then attempt to throw them to the butcher villager in the middle. Instead, there are hopper minecarts that grab the item first before the butcher can pick it up, and they're all funneled underneath. Right next to it is my passive mob farm. This farm supplies me with all the passive mobs without ever having to manually farm them myself. If we go underneath here... Hey, Gray. Hey, Cody. Things are going good, man. You guys joined in a little late, but we're here. So you can see here that all of the crops are funneled down underneath, and they're collected in these chests here. I did just clean out this farm, so there is not much in here. But if we continue to run down the hallway to underneath the passive mob farm, you can hear a poor sheep right there. But it does supply me with all these passive mob drops without having to actually go out and farm them. Funny story about that as well. The 1 pink sheep I have encountered in my world died naturally in my passive mob farm. So, continuing on, we will keep following the rail lines and close out the villager saga part of my world. So, again, what used to be out here, there are 2 farms. This first one that is currently blown up is a charged creeper farm. By using a channeling trident and a very basic mob farm, what will happen is mobs spawn down below, they get sent up this tunnel, and they end up in this chamber right here, where I explode them with a charged creeper, getting their mob heads. It's a little blown up right now, and I haven't repaired it simply because I have a stack and a half of each different kind of mob head, and I haven't seen a reason to run this farm since. Dropping off of this tower, we come to where I used to keep my redstone villagers. So this is what I used to consider my redstone shop. It is not torn out yet. Eventually, I'm going to have to tear this whole area down. But I used to keep a good number of my cleric villagers out here in order to trade with them for redstone. Eventually, at some point, I will have to tear this area out. So that is the end of where villagers move in my world. The next area we will go look at is my industrial area. So fly in here, and hopefully it doesn't get too laggy. But this is my industrial area. There are over 30 farms in this one area, and it allows me to farm either AFK or super easily manually any item I could ever want. Just kind of running down the list here, we have a dripstone farm, an ink farm that is honestly overproducing, a very simple mushroom farm, a very simple crop farm, a very simple smooth stone farm, or cobble farm, depending on what you're using for a pickaxe. I have my lava farm here. This is a very basic charcoal farm. This is a very basic obsidian farm. People are always curious how this farm works, so I will show you guys. Not many people have ever seen an obsidian farm. We will go ahead and try it right now. So if you put buckets of lava up here and go ahead, and it should already be primed, break this obsidian. As soon as that obsidian breaks, it will dispense another lava bucket, creating another piece of obsidian, and then you just stand here and break it down. All of the obsidian is filtered into here. All of the buckets are filtered into here. It's a quick and easy way to get lots of obsidian. It is obviously easier to just tear down end towers, but, you know, sometimes you just need a quick way of doing it. This is my 64 furnace array. This is one of the older ones in my world. It works very, very well. It does an entire shulker box of items in a little under 4 minutes. I'm not going to run it right now because I don't have anything to run, but there are videos of this on my page if you are curious. Moving on, we have my moss farm. I am pretty certain this one is broken right now. Have not had a chance to fix it. I kind of want to turn it on and see if it works. Oh, it looks like it's working okay. Everything gets... Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's not working. It should be running much faster than that, so I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this farm has probably broken at some point. I'll have to reinvent this as I go. Right next to it is my very basic, very simple drowned farm. This keeps me supplied in tridents for all my trident killers. Right now there is no copper and no nautilus shells in here simply because I have built 2 drowned farms since the last time I ran this one and have not had a reason to run it. This is a very, very simple mangrove tree farm. By using scaffolding to build up around it, I can harvest mangrove trees super easily without having to put in much effort. Same design here. You'll kind of see the theme with the tree farms just built. This is for the netherwort trees. This is a very simple sea pickle farm. For the longest time, the main source of food in this world was cooked chicken. I have an incredible amount of cooked chicken. And then just a very simple cooked chicken farm and a very simple egg farm right there. This is a fairly simple farm that you get crimson fungus and crimson roots farm. It's just a shaker farm at the same thing on the other side, warped roots and warped fungus to generate here. This is a very simple snow farm. You can't tell it, but there is a snow golem in there. When I'm ready to fire up this farm, I simply break these observers, point them into each other, and turn this switch on, and then it starts spitting out snowballs. We have another much faster snow farm built somewhere else in the world that we will get to later. Moving on, here are some of my more manual farms in the area, like cocoa beans, vines, I think these are, what are these? Creeping vines? I can never... Oh, I broke the wrong side of them. What is this? Twisting vines, that's what they're called. So, twisting vines, warped vines, glowberries, and a very, very small amount of nether wart. This farm right here has been since decommissioned. This used to be a music disc farm. Used to have a skeleton archer standing right down in this box. I used to stand down here with a shield, sit right here. The skeleton attempts to shoot you, and only creepers were able to spawn up there. So I used to use this to farm music discs. I have since killed the skeleton and ripped out the creeper farm, so eventually I will rebuild this somewhere else in my world. This is a very simple clay farm. By using mud and a fortune shovel, by coming up here, this has all been converted, but if I tear all this down, I get a bunch of clay that I can use for bricks or something simple like that. And if I want to replace it by taking some mud, I just go... Yeah, you're probably right. I'm going to say simple a lot. It just is what it is. By replacing the mud in here, if you give it a little bit of time, thanks to the dripstone underneath, it will all drain out and turn to clay. So you can see this has already turned to clay, and I could harvest it if I wanted to. I'll put the shovel back and the clay back. Oh, game's bugged. Somebody was saying how long was it going to take for my game to bug out, loading all these areas at once. It was 31 minutes before it bugged out, but we'll just keep moving on. This is a very simple concrete generator. All you do is you place the concrete powder right where this glass block is. This will then cause the one-tick piston to shoot it out, go across this row of one-tick pistons. It fills up this area right here, and then thanks to haste 2, which this whole area is protected by all 6 beacons, you're able to insta-mine the concrete. Doing a 180, here is my mushroom stem farm. Again, keeping it simple with the... I'm going to say, you're going to catch me every time I say simple now. But this is a generic farm for harvesting all the mushroom blocks. And as you're cutting them down, they all end up in this chest. Continuing to move on, here is a small melon and pumpkin farm. Eventually in the future, I intend to build an absolutely massive one of these for no real reason, but I just kind of want to. It has supplied me with more melons and pumpkins than I'll probably ever know what to do with, but they're here for when I need them to be. This is a very basic kelp farm. I have not done much with kelp in this world simply because it's not that useful of a block. Kelp blocks are a great system for smelting, but when you have options like bamboo or lava, it just makes sense to go with bamboo or lava. This is my 2 tall tree farm. It's just built to tower for jungle wood or for spruce. Thanks to the ability of, again, haste 2, you can insta-mine the wood, and it allows me to harvest lots of wood as I need it to. Anything I don't pick up all funnels down into this chest, and it allows it to collect there. Continuing on, this is my 2 tall flower farm. It is a very, very easy farm to understand. All you want to do is grab yourself some bone meal. We'll only run 1 module for now. Say I wanted some lilacs, I would simply put bone meal in here, go to the other side, flick this switch, and then it will get me a bunch more lilacs. When I'm done, I just turn it off, and we're good to go. These towers right here are a very old cactus farm, one of the oldest farms in the entire world, along with a sugarcane and bamboo farm tower right next to it. These farms run whenever I'm in the area and funnel down here, and whenever they cannot stack, it just becomes bone meal. This right here is a very small kind of patchwork mob farm. It is not the only mob farm in my world, but it's the one that I just decided to leave at my industrial area. Does a pretty good job filling up on items, and eventually all these chests will fill. Again, not my main source of mob drops, but nice to just have quick ones here. This is the 2nd oldest iron farm in the world here. The iron farm we saw earlier in the tour, or the stripped down, broken up farm we saw. All the villagers from that one were transferred to this one a very long time ago, and it has been continued running. These right here, I get questions about, are automatic potion brewers. They're super, super simple. Like, you have water breathing, fire resistance, and then this is night vision. So when we were doing all the underwater hunting for the Swiffer eggs, it was really nice to have the I cannot speak, the night vision and the underwater potions. Basically, it brews them up automatically for you as you need them. The last part of this area is my old storage area, currently in the process of tearing it out. But for the first 5,000 days in this world, I lived out of this manual storage area. Sorted things, kept it basic, but it served its purpose, and now we're building new storage. The last couple farms in the area, if we go down here, these are super fast wool farms. They're all currently switched off simply because if I leave them AFKing, they will completely back up these chests and cause the area to have entity lag. So I leave them off until I need a certain color, but I don't know if I'm ever going to need this much magenta wool or this much purple wool. It's honestly more than I need. A couple farms underneath. This is a slime farm. Coming down here, these are slime balls. This farm is loaded anytime I'm in the area. It's a fairly basic design. I'm sure anybody who watches a lot of Minecraft content has seen slime farms before, if I can go down this ladder. But if we look down here, the only thing that can spawn on these platforms are slime, and you can see like that guy right there is trying to get to the snow golem on the other wall and will eventually fall into the water stream, into those campfires, die, and then all of their drops are sent up. Again, if you follow any Minecraft creator, a slime farm is super easy to make. The other farm down here at water level is over here. This is my sea turtle farm, or my scoot farm. Not very efficient, needed it for the helmet, and then went from there. Dot, I can't see what your name is. I'm not doing tutorials for my builds right now, but maybe in the future I will release one for the potion brewing stands. One of my favorite little places in the world is looking up underneath my industrial district. The whole place is built on glass. This entire area is completely spawn-proofed, so no mobs can spawn here. I can AFK anywhere here I want, well, besides out in the open for phantoms, and I don't have to worry about dying. Going down this long crimson rope right here, armadillo farm. Eventually I will have an armadillo farm. It is on the list. But I don't do experimental features because that would break the survival aspect of the world. Cats are phantom protection. They are, but why not just put a solid block over my head? I'm not too worried about phantoms in this world. If we come down here, this is the remnants of an old amethyst geode. This is where I get all my amethyst shards from. If you're curious why there's an allay down here, there is an old video of me harvesting this whole area using the collection abilities of the allays. You'll see these guys all over my world. They are my favorite companion mob in the game. They're extremely overpowered and extremely useful, and I just hope that everybody who doesn't like the allays will one day realize how great they are. How do you see underwater? Visions of our night vision potions allow you to see underwater much clearer. Alright, my game caught up. I can finally get rid of this clay in my inventory. Back up the tower here. Once we get to the top. So, I'll show you real quick, Dot, just because there's no harm, no foul in it. So I'm just going to leave this clay here. So if I take a potion of night vision, and I go, you get a much clearer picture of underwater. So when we were out and about on boats looking for underwater ruins for sniffer eggs, I was using a lot of night vision potions in order to see underwater better. Just a little tidbit. So this is what it looks like from up here, even though I'm far away. Using underwater potions allows me to see everything. Going underneath the industrial district, we have some spawner farms. Takes a second because they run deep. Eventually, I have to pretty up the walls. So this is my skulk farm. It is fairly basic, not the most complicated thing in the world. I just realized it looks really weird down here because I have a night vision potion. But we have a skeleton spawner. The skeleton spawner spawns skeletons in. They get washed down into this water stream. They go up the water... Oh, there they go. Some just spawned right there. Up the water stream, down, fall, and die on the dripstone, which then uses the Skulk Catalyst to... What template do you need to get the actual netherite armor? The netherite upgrade. So we'll get 1 second. You watch this guy all shoot up. You give him a couple seconds. There's a tunnel across the top. He will fall down onto that, and you'll see the Skulk activate. So you can see it's spread out to there. And what you do is you will just sit in here, go back and forth with a hoe, and just collect it as you go. Continuing to go down, we have... Oh, I went past it. I guess we can go all the way down. All the way down here. Oh, hello. I was looking at my chat, sir. This, unfortunately, isn't a slime chunk, and I've never spawn-proofed it, so eventually I need to spawn-proof this area. Get rid of these very grumpy slimes. But, same deal. There is actually a double skeleton spawner in this area. That is why I originally settled in... I don't know why that's standing. That's why I originally settled in this area. So, same deal as before. Skeletons will spawn. There is a tower that goes up right here, and this is a stray farm. So, strays will go up, they drop down, there's powdered snow up there, and then a trident killer will kill them and produce arrows of slowness, regular arrows, and bones. Not a crazy complicated issue. Ben, I am playing on console. I play on PS5, but I am on mouse and keyboard. If we go up a little bit, we can find the second of 3 drown farms in my world. Again, a very simple one, just like the others. This is a zombie spawner, and if we give it a second, we will see a bunch of zombies spawn. Or they may have already spawned, because we've been in the area. We'll just go down underneath and check. So, with the addition of 1.20 having copper being much more valuable, I have opted to invest more time into drowned. So above me right there is the spawner. They get crossed, they end up drowning in there, and then a trident killer will chew them up. The trident killer chews them up, and copper is produced. So if I AFK this area, it's a steady supply of zombies into the death chamber for drowned. I also get nautilus shells from it, but it's not... How did I get spawners in a certain location? I didn't. I found the spawners while mining and exploring, and that's why I built my industrial area in this area. So I built all these farms around these naturally generated spawners. Going back up, that is the last of the farms that are underneath. And that is all 30, I think it's 32 farms that are located at my industrial area. So the last, I guess, farm kind of... Do you get tridents from the drown farm? So I do not get tridents from the zombie spawner farm, but I do get it from the drown farm we looked at earlier. So this is my wither kill chamber. Back in 1.19.51, it was possible to break and collect bedrock in survival Minecraft. I then took that opportunity to get a bunch of bedrock to build an end gate out here where I'm able to kill and suffocate withers. This is where anywhere you see a beacon in my world, most of the beacons came from killing the withers out here. Moving on, we're going to go in this direction. So, people ask all the time, what are the giant wool circles? And I have no idea. I started building this project, didn't follow through with the project, and now there's just giant wool circles that have been here for probably a year, and I've just done nothing with it. So maybe in the future we'll find something to do with these, but as of right now, I have no plans for the giant wool circles. Now, some of my more recent followers and those who have been participating in my recent live streams recognize this place very, very well. This is my new mass storage base. This base is capable of holding over 2.2 million items. It is completely built with redstone sorters behind the scenes. It allows me to collect and sort all of the items you see here, as well as generalized mass storage down there. We've built the entirety of the outside of this farm on lives. I will be putting a video out on YouTube of me building the inside of the entire farm. But like I said, the entire backside is filled with redstone auto sorters and water streams to transfer the items around. Going back out here, shutting the door. So what we did on the earlier live today was we went and put in a 64 furnace array. So I wanted to have a furnace array like I had at my industrial area here at my storage. So this one is the same speed as the other, capable of doing an entire shulker box of items in just under 4.5 minutes. So it's a fairly fast smelter supplied by lava, just like the other one, and a necessity in this world. Back down here. I think that is it for this immediate area. Going to go back to the penthouse to sleep, and then we will start exploring things from the Nether hub. Take a quick sleep here, grab a drink of water, and then we will keep going. Alright, drink of water. So that is everything that is in the immediate area of spawn. Take a quick swim up. And you can kind of get a picture of what we're looking at. So there's storage. Here's my collection area. There's the gold farm that we were at earlier. The original and oldest iron farm in the world. And then my starter base. So coming out of here, we have to go back down to the lobby and then get off at the first floor. So you'll see all around my world are nether portals. I have an extensive nether hub that connects to every major part of my world, and it makes getting around much, much easier. Alright, going through here, we are into my nether hub. It is entirely made out of pristine blocks and moss carpet. So starting at the main area, I would say, is this big room right here. So this room, if you're a long-term follower of mine, you'll recognize was where my original piglin bartering farm was. It has since been moved. You may have seen it when we first came through the portal. But this is my industrial area that we were at earlier. The entire world, again, is connected through this nether hub, and you can figure out where everything is based on the signs on the wall. So, like 1.20 base, blaze farm, mansion, guardian farm, end portal, wither skeleton farm, so on and so on. They're all laid out evenly. This entire place is spawn-proof, so you don't have to worry about gas or zombie piglins or anything like that. So the first area I think we're going to start with in here to look through is we're going to go out this way. So we're going to go to the cathedral, or mega base as I call it. So back when I was streaming this game a lot more, we were working on a massive cathedral build. It's still here. It is unfinished currently. I had a save corrupt, and I lost about 25 hours worth of build time on this project, and opted to take a break for a little while. We will let the world catch up. Billy, yes, this is all solo. So if we fly out the front, we'll go all the way up to our old observation platform. If I can get it in one go. We have what is left of the cathedral. So again, I lost an old save on it where I had finished the top, but I lost about 20 to 25 hours off that save, and now it is unfinished. I definitely will be going back in the future and completing this, probably in live streams. I just, ever since the save was corrupted and I lost the progress on this build, I have not had the desire to go back and grind it. Next to it, you might see, is the only surviving chest monster in the world, simply because I have not torn it out, because all of the supplies for this build are still located here. We're actually going to take a short flight to the next area. It is connected to the Nether hub, but it is so close to this build that it almost would take longer to go into the Nether than to just fly over there. So this mess of contraptions in the sky is my Wither blasting district. It is currently broken, as the Wither had a little bit of a temper tantrum and broke his containment for a second and blew up some stuff he shouldn't, thanks to a very unlucky chicken spawn. This is a fully automatic blasting district. So again, in 1.19.51, it was possible to break and collect bedrock. And when we make it to the end, you'll see the mess of suppression update builds and blown up endstone and all that stuff that allowed me to collect all of this bedrock. There is a Wither caged in there, and when this farm is running, this snow golem will damage the Wither, which causes items to go in front of him. A Wither has a 100% drop rate on broken items that then fall down into that water stream and then to this massive sorting system there. Farms in this area are simple, like this concrete farm. We have cobblestone, basalt, mud, and then originally there used to be a tree farm with this very basic condenser right here. It might still, I haven't used it in a while. I don't know if it actually still works. But if I press this, you can see it would condense a 5 tall tree into a 1 tree stem and then move along. It looks like the redstone has since slowed down. Slowed down a lot, but it used to be faster. Have not used this area in a very, very long time. But back into the Nether hub we go. I gotta remember here, I got about a 50-50 shot on remembering which way to go. It's this way. This is one of the not labeled. Nope, I'm willing to bet I was wrong. I was wrong. Flying back down the Nether hub, we will take a right. Running down here, the first stop on the Nether hub is the mine. We'll go through this portal, and that will connect us to that. Give it a second to load. We are loading a lot of my world in one sitting, and we will see how Realms likes to do that. All right, coming through here, this is my mine. It is not the original, but it is the one I have used the most. Going through here, we could take the water stream down, but that takes too long. There's a block missing from this corner, and it's much easier just to fall down the mined out chunk. So when you get down here, you'll be able to see this whole area where I farm for deep slate and tough. And there's a video on how to insta-mine deep slate in this area. If you guys are curious, that is also on my page. Going through here, we'll find my tunnel borer. So where my diamond beacon came from and where all my armor trims have been generated are all from this tunnel bore here. You can see it's kind of a mess of supplies here at the front, but we have more potions of night vision just to make things easier. But if we fly down this tunnel, I'm pretty sure I left TNT in it, we can find at the end my tunnel borer. So let me just check to make sure it's loaded, and then I'll show you guys how it works. So there's a little bit of TNT in there. These are all TNT dispensing machines hooked up to a flying machine. These are actually dispensers with arrows in them, because to trigger the TNTs, the dispensers move first, shoot the target block, which generates the TNT thrower. We'll call it that. I don't have an official name for it. But when I flick this sign, it pushes everything forward. Give it 1 second, and then blows up the wall. and then I can go forward and see if there's any diamonds located. But this is what I have used to tunnel out all of these blocks. I have done some of it on stream. It is not necessarily the most exciting footage, so I tend not to stream it when I'm running it. Just a few blocks have been removed by the tunnel bore. Can I do it? Nailed it. So going out of here, we will take the water stream to go up. Just a few, Dracos, just a few. We will use the water stream to go up to get to, go on, to get to the next area. So if we were to go into the Nether hub, the next area that would be connected is my mass farming area, which is on the other side of this wall. But we will just take a quick flight over there so that you guys can kind of see it in all its flyover glory. So this area is kind of a random assortment of semi-automatic farms. Before we get into it too much, I want to grab some more fireworks. Just grab some more out of there, break, and put it away. So some of the farms I have in this area are this massive flying machine bamboo farm that supplies me with all the bamboo that I mostly just turn into chests anyway. We built this on stream a very long time ago. The redstone was a lot of fun for this one. It is all just automatic cart, hopper minecart unloaders with auto droppers built underneath. It was a fun, repetitive project with flying machines. This is my wheat farm. This is where I get all of my wheat from. It allows me to get all my target blocks for all of my sorting systems. This is one of the most satisfying farms to look at and run simply because it's green and pretty, and I really like it, but boy is it a pain to replant this entire farm. Moving along from right to left, we have my chorus fruit farm. The same mechanics as the wheat farm here. Dispensers with water buckets will be produced. They break all of the stems and it all gets washed down into this chest at the end. Part of the chorus fruit farm though is you do need to get chorus flowers, which means I use a bow to shoot out all these flowers in order to collect them. Behind me here, you'll see my family of foxes. These guys live in here to harvest sweet berries. So at the very beginning of the stream, we looked at my first sweet berry farm, and this is my much overproduced, gets me way too many sweet berries, and then poor, unsuspecting passive mobs. And I don't know why I need this many sweet berries, but I have them. Next to them is my sniffer farm, possibly the most overhyped, useless mob in the game. Sniffers are cool. They're giant dinosaurs. They're adorable. They're not that useful. But a very basic farm in here allows me to get plenty of the ancient seeds that they look for. All of those ancient seeds are then planted in these nice 8x8 farms over here, and I'm able to get the new torch flower and the new pitcher pod. So Madison, these are sniffers. They're one of the harder to get mobs in the game, and for the amount of struggle it is to find and get these guys, they are 110% not worth the effort. They're cute, they're adorable. If I could put a saddle on them, I'd be happier, but unfortunately, they're just not it. Continuing on is my nether wart farm. Just like the wheat farm and the chorus fruit farm, they use gravity-fed buckets of water and dispensers to wash all these items down into the end. What is cool about this is thanks to my piglin bartering farm, I have a bunch of iron boots with soul speed on them. So if I have my regular boots on, you can see I move slowly on top of the soul stand. But if I put my soul speed boots on, you can see I move much faster, and it makes replanting this farm much easier. It does do a number on the durability of the boots, though. Continuing on, this is one of the few iron farms in my world. It's an extremely basic design that I came up with. This one has no sorter attached to it. It's just a tower of iron, but it works very well, and it keeps me well supplied in iron. This is a failed ram horn farm. I originally had another one. It didn't work. I tried building this one. It doesn't work. We're just going to move on and ignore this failure of a farm. Coming down here, actually, we're going to sleep because it's... there's a horse in there. We're going to sleep really quick so that we can see the bees. So, moving on, this is my honey farm. So, in here are all my little bees with their nice little safe enclosure using the new cherry blossom trees. It allows me to harvest lots and lots of honey blocks. And there was a horse in there. I'm not losing my mind. It must have despawned, but the bees really like the cherry trees, so I built them a nice enclosure to live out of. I think that does it for farms in this area. We will move on to the next one. Now, a common question that comes up every time I'm live streaming is, how did I get clip art in... How come the bees don't despawn? So bees won't despawn as long as they're associated to a hive. So all of these bees have, a little hard to see, but you can see all of them are paired to those hives. So they will never despawn as long as they're connected to that hive. But back to my train of thought. So people ask all the time how I put a clip art in my console edition world. Like, this is obviously my logo and then the name of the world save. How did I get this in here? People think I cheated or I used some third-party software. This is actually a 128 by 128 block map art. So if we go over here, you can see it starts loading in. This is that map art of my entire logo. So this took a very long time, but was 100% worth it, because it is just a... Oh, let's see if I can land up here first try. Nailed it. This is 128 blocks by 128 blocks of wool in order to get my logo and name of my world in my Minecraft world. They're in all my maps. So you'll see anywhere in my world, if you see a map art up, just know that it's a map. Like, this is a locator map. All the ones are regular maps, but this is the map I used to make it originally. Quite a project. Would never do it again. But what's next in this area? I guess we can keep flying and avoiding using the Nether hub if I don't have to. If we go off in this direction, we can see the ice biome. People ask why I don't have an ice farm because they're so easy to build. Well, that's because I have an absolutely massive ice spikes biome that goes off for about another 1,000 blocks in that direction. There's no real need for me to make an ice farm. But a couple things lingering in this area is a portal to connect to it, some frogs, and you guys will see why I have frogs out here later. I wonder if my polar bear is still out here. I think he's gone. I think he has since moved on. I used to have a polar bear out here named, I don't remember his name, but he was a baby polar bear, and, oh, nope, that's not going to be them, but there is a baby polar bear. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but a cool feature about the polar bears in this game is they are more aggressive when they have baby polar bears with them. So, oh, I did not mean to go under the ice. I'm going to have to fight a polar bear. I don't really want to fight you, Mr. Polar Bear. Anyway, this is Tony. I don't want to fight you, Mr. Polar Bear. If you attack Tony, I will fight you, though. Alright, good. You didn't attack Tony. And then this is a rare Arctic fox that I named Tony, who's been out here for a while. I need to find him another white Arctic fox so that they can have babies, because they're so cute. The white Arctic foxes in this game are so cute. Had to save one. His name is Tony. I don't know why it was Tony. I think that's just what we called him in the live stream when I found him. Alright, back into the Nether hub. Alright, so the last thing in this area is something I'm sure a lot of people have seen. but this is a lush cave. There is a farm out here, so I will show you guys this area. It is nothing fancy, it's just your generic lush cave. Sniffers are breedable, but you have to get the first 2 sniffers by finding sniffer eggs, and that's a whole thing. So this area is, oh wow, a lot of lag right there. This area is a lush cave, and in this lush cave is a very simple tropical fish farm, because I'm still working on getting the light blue axolotl. So I need a lot of tropical fish, because if you don't know, axolotls are bred by using buckets of tropical fish. So this is a very, very simple tropical fish farm. They spawn in these water areas after a little while. They funnel down into this water bucket right here, allows you to easily capture them. And then by using buckets of water, see, it doesn't like opening this chest because there's a lot of live tropical fish in this bucket. You're able to scoop them up in order to capture them and then give them to your axolotls. I wonder if there's anything good out here. I didn't even know there was a chest monster out here. Not a super complicated farm, but one more or less that I needed. Alrighty, so that is this end of the Nether hub. There are 3 more branches we have yet to explore of the Nether hub. So going back down here, so you can see all the stuff we saw earlier, like the map art is connected, the mass farming area, and then the first area where we got off the mine. And then right down here is the mega base, and then the blasting district is also captured down there. This is Nether storage. This is going to be torn out here soon. Eventually all of this will come out and be sent to my new storage area. Moving along this way, this is my ancient debris mine. This used to have a pillager captain in it, and he has since despawned, even though he was named. I think it was just a bug with the realm, unfortunately. But all of the ancient debris for all of my armor, my tools, all that stuff, all came from this mine down here. And I don't go down here very often because it's full of mobs. But I go down here, and you can see I mined for many blocks using tunnel borers in order to get all my ancient debris. Eventually, I will have to go back down there. I have no intentions whatsoever at all of doing a netherite beacon, but I want to do a 10-module auto miner or tunnel bore in the future, and I need more ancient debris for it. Moving down here, there's some stuff we have already seen. Like, we've already seen the old, this is the old trading hall. Haven't seen the quarry yet, so we'll go check that out. So if we come down here, we can take a look at the quarry. This is where most of the stone, cobblestone, gravel in my world comes from. Give it a second. It's not liking loading right now. Alright. So this is my quarry. It is pretty much a semi-automatic collection quarry. By utilizing allays and their block picking up mechanic, as well as their ability to pair to note blocks, anything I mine in this 32 by 32 area, they will automatically collect for me, drop onto that platform, at which point it will go up the water stream, come here, and be sorted out into these chests. So all of my stone, you can see there's a bunch of it, andesite. These are not as rare, but I use this to get, apparently I'm out of cobble too. I use this to get cobble and a bunch of gravel. There is a full video on how to utilize this whole system on my page. It is pinned. I believe it's called How to Make Allays Useful if you're more curious about this farm. But this is a fairly easy to set up system. Even if you don't set up the water stream, having a very basic collection point with a note block and allays is a super, super overpowered farm in Minecraft. If you don't understand how great allays are, you're not going to understand how I build most of my projects. Just saying, allays are the best companion mob, if not the best mob in the game in general. But that's the quarry. leaving the quarry and coming down here. This is my piglin bartering farm. So it used to be over in that big room right there. I have since moved it to here. It utilizes 3 piglins trapped in their little areas, and I trade gold with them in order to get all of these items, as well as lots of, you know, potions of fire res, bunch of splash potions, a bunch of soul speed books, water bottles, and just, you know, the generic stuff you get from them. They are my main source of leather. Believe it or not, even with an Enderman farm, I like using these guys to get Ender Pearls over the Enderman farm. As well as this guy who wandered in from our storage base portal there, and has just since decided to live in the Nether hub. Moving along in this direction is the penthouse. We were already there. Coming along here, this is the Syrup Town. This is what I showed you guys at the beginning, how this world originally started as a realm with some friends. Since then, that area has been abandoned, but I still connected the town to the original portal. Down here is the raid farm. So when I'm not using villagers to trade for emeralds, I am using this raid farm to get emeralds and totems of undying. A common question in my lives is, how do I have so many levels? Well, that's because I don't die in this game. We are taking bets, though, on... Oh, I'm trapped in the wall. Ooh, this is a lot of lag. Ooh, game might crash. Game might crash. There it is. Ooh, a little frame rate trying to load in this farm. So I'm going to sleep real quick. Go to sleep really quick before my world crashes. But this is the underside of my... Oh, heard you. This is the underside of my raid farm. Take a quick fly up. It is a very basic design based on another farm by a creator whose name I cannot remember, unfortunately. But basically what it boils down to is... It's hard to see right now, but let's go down a little bit. This was a pillager outpost. You can see the remnants of one of the structures there. Pillager captains spawn in that little box with a trident killer. Then there is a villager trapped up there that is considered a village, at which point I stand right here, and the only spawnable blocks within range are up there. So the whole raid will spawn on that area. There's water streams that push everything into this killing area, at which the Ravengers are killed above. The rest drop down and are killed by a trident killer right here. This Iron Golem is to protect me because every once in a while raids will stack and a pillager will get pushed out of the glass and somehow end up behind me, and then this guy takes care of him for me. As well as a beacon giving me strength, regen, and resistance. Fly down here. This is where I get all of my totems. I don't really use this for emeralds, although I can. It keeps me extremely well supplied with totems. Collect this, put that away. So I don't really have to worry about running out of totems anytime soon. And I always keep a totem in my offhand and one in my inventory. I have no intention of dying in this world. But that is the raid farm. One of the older farms in the world. I think that farm is probably from the first 1,000 days of the world. But continuing down here, we have a couple of things. So all the way at the end of here, we have a gold farm. Now, I can't remember if I streamed building this, but it was kind of a failure of a farm. This allows zombie piglins are the only thing that can spawn on magma blocks. Oh, there goes one right there. And then there are turtle eggs in the middle, at which point, just exactly like that happened, mobs will spawn up there. It's hard to tell, but the entire area around is spawn-proofed. And then they fall and die. It is horribly underperforming for the amount of work it was to build this farm. Yes, I've heard that flying down my hallways is quite trippy. So I see it in 210 by 1080, 120 frames. Due to TikTok scaling it down, you guys are seeing it 1080 at 60 frames, so it looks very trippy to you guys. this is my 1.20 base when... Oh, I'm going to do this real quick. When 1.20 came out, I needed to go out a bunch of blocks and find new chunks in order to get, well, a cherry blossom biome. Is really what we were looking for. So give me a second to go through here. Again, we're loading a lot of my world, so we'll see how laggy it gets. This is, I don't know if this is the, I don't think it is. I think the mob farm is the farthest out farm in my world. But this one's got to be close. I don't know if it'll load, actually. We'll see. Crack my knuckles real quick. Thank you guys for the 3,000 likes. I appreciate it. I don't know if it's going to load, guys. Come on, Realms. Come on, Realms. Sawyer, so you missed the first hour? Don't worry, the entire first hour of the stream is saved over on YouTube. Come on now. Uh-oh. The realm may have crashed. We were doing pretty good. Give me 1 second here, guys, to stop the game and reset it. I'm still here. I'm still talking. Keep the music going. I'm just closing the game and reopening it. Hopefully that doesn't break anything. If my world dies here live on stream, I might cry. We'll give it a second to reload here. We did load a bunch of different areas in the world all at the same time. Loading resource packs. This may take a few moments. Signing in to your Microsoft account. Reset that. Fetching realms. Loading back in. Let's see if it lets me rejoin without... Oh, it did, but I'm dying in the wall. Oh, all right. Let me show you where I just got brought back. So I reloaded into the world, and I am in the darkness and dying. Give me 1 second here, YouTube. I'll bring you back up, too. This is where I just respawned. That, you know, I shouldn't have ran my mouth about being confident in not dying in this world anymore. I'm at 53, man. I'm in the world, I bet you it dropped me out right underneath my nether portal. I don't even know if... Where am I? Oh, okay. So I'm right underneath my house, apparently. I know where I am. Where am I? What the hell? I don't even recognize where I am right now. I'm at the... How did I get here? I'm so confused. I'm incredibly confused how I just... Okay, well... I'm back. I'm back at the penthouse, I guess. Okay. That's an interesting one. I've never had that happen before. That's a... Hey, our Iron Golem came back through the portal. That's a new one for me. I've never had that glitch. Alright, we're trying to go back into the end here. Alright. So, everything's loaded. I'm back in. All good. Alright, let's see if I can load into the 1.20 base without the game crashing. So, let's try this again. 1.20 base, going into the portal. This is where it all fell apart last time. Alright. Both of you are calling me. That's quite a thing. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm getting a phone call. I got 2 different phone calls back to back, so I had to answer. But good news is the world loaded. So the world has loaded. We are out at the 1.20 base. All good things have happened. Going back outside. Hey, Book, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. So this is my 1.20 base. So if the portal had worked right the first time, this is what you come out looking at. So it's our cherry blossom. You can see our camels that we got here. We have Bob and Marlboro, which apparently Mojang doesn't like, but our camels. And then if we go through here, we can see our 1.20 base and all the stuff we collected out of it. Tried to keep it all cherry blossom up. Have all of our treasure chests we found, all of the different pottery shards, and our music discs. Bunch of chest monsters, bunch of just random enchants in our new book. I can't. Let me put them back. There we go. I'm doing good, book. If I come up here, we can see all the different armor trims we've already gotten. Still working on the last few. But eventually, all of these will be brought to the new storage base, as well as all the shards. And eventually, I'll have to craft those up into actual pots. There's a bunch of stuff that we've gotten from just raiding different temples and end cities and a couple different ancient cities, as well as just a bunch of crap. So I think we will ride out the sunset here. And, well, let me sleep yet? It will. Perfect. Been a long time since I've slept in this bed. Alright. Now that we've almost crashed the world trying to load this little base, let's go try to load some of the bigger, more farther away projects. Oh, at least the portal there was good. Flying back down here. So now I guess we will go to the end. So this is not fancy. I won't lie to you. Haven't done anything with my end portal or anything with the end in general because I was really banking on 1.21 being an end update. I'm getting real confident in these nether portals, and they're taking forever to load right now. Oh, I hear running. That's a good sign. Maybe. Oh. Okay. So, this is the... I just realized when I go back through that portal and then back through this portal, it's going to suck me out through the bed at the cherry blossom base. You're not missing anything fancy in the end. I have done nothing to my end island. All that's out there is an enderman farm, some destroyed ruins of the end gateway that I used to break bedrock, and then my old gravity duplicator. There's nothing fancy out there, I promise. But I'm not going to risk loading it because the world's going to crash. If we go down here, though, do it without falling to my death. Nailed it. There's actually an old abandoned project that is actually older than the cathedral because the original plan was to build the cathedral down here in this big-ass cave. But I abandoned this project when I realized I built in spawn chunks. Or slime spawn chunks. So there's a slime spawn chunk right there, right here, and right there. So no matter what I built, this area was getting completely overtaken by slimes every time I was here. But maybe one day this is one of those projects that I'll revisit and work on in the future. But I just don't have the time, energy, or desire to work on it right now. Also, there's this huge abandoned mineshaft completely in this massive cave that I always thought was cool. Spent a lot of time lighting it up, never did anything with it. Time to go back through here. Hopefully the portal works. Let's keep our fingers crossed it's not going to keep trying to kill me. Oh, there we go. And I made it through completely unscathed. Alrighty then. So that is what is at the end of this part of the Nether Hub. If we go back this way, we've already seen the raid farm, we've already seen Syrup Town, we've already seen the penthouse. Now we can look at what's down this hallway. So again, we saw that, but we know that this is the new storage base. Continuing on this way, we have the wither skeleton farm. Well, I want to see here. Yep. So there's still a trident in there. So if I turn this on and this on, and then I go up this this vine right here, we'll actually get to see my wither skeleton farm. So you can kind of see it right there. By coming over here and standing right here, only wither skeletons and zombie piglins can spawn on this platform. The wither roses kill the zombie piglins. The wither skeletons attempt to kill the piglin in the middle, fall into the wither killer or the trident killer at the bottom, at which point they are ground up and I get their skulls. Super easy way to get a ton of wither skulls. It's how I've gotten all of mine for all of my beacons for the longest time. Super easy farm to build. The hardest part is spawn proofing and then putting up with all the mobs while you're actually building it. Go down the vines here. So at the bottom, oh, come on, wait for it. The bottom of the vines coming down here, this will be my blaze farm. So above me, right up there, is a blaze spawner. They are funneled down into the kill chamber. Again, using a trident killer at the bottom. And this keeps me well supplied in blaze rods. It's another farm I've only run once and never really had to run again, because I don't really have a demand for this many blaze rods. But it was nice to have for when I needed a bunch of end rods. And the way we're going through end rods at the new storage base, it's probably a good thing if I have a bunch more on hand. But you can see right there, even in, well, just demonstrating the farm, we were able to get a wither skeleton skull. This is a mansion, a woodland mansion. So we've all seen those, so I don't need to go into detail to explore that, but that is what at the end of that hub. Flying all the way down here, we will find this unnamed portal. There used to be a whole system back here that has been since abandoned. You might have a brief idea what this farm might be that we're going to look at, but it has not been used in a while. Now, if we go through here, we're going to be able to see really 3 different farms, but 2 of them connected to this portal. I guess actually there's 4 farms in this area. I don't really count iron farms because I have multiple on multiple. Oh, in the water. Where? Oh, oh, come on, world. Oh, under the glass. Okay, there we go. It caught up. So this portal spits you out right here, where my guardian farm and my drowned farm are located. So I guess just add this to the stuff I'm collecting while exploring my world. So the first one we'll look at is the drowned farm. It's an extremely simple farm to make. I built this very recently, probably within the last month or so, just to start getting a bunch of copper for the new blocks that come with 1.21. You can see there's drowns coming down into it right now. Very basic funnel design. Drowns are only able to spawn up there. They fall down into here, and then a trident killer chews them up. So I will just, when I'm ready, I just AFK, I just come and stand right here and just let the farm AFK until I get all of the copper I want. Also gives me nautilus shells. Don't really have a need for a lot of nautilus shells, but they're there, as well as a gubbins destroyer to get rid of the tridents and the rotten flesh. And before you give me crap for burning tridents, I don't need tridents in this world. I have 3 full shulker boxes of tridents from my other drowned farm. This is a guardian farm and kind of a quasi-drowned farm. So what happens here is when I'm on this platform or in this little room, guardians will spawn. They are shot up, at which point they are funneled down into the kill chamber down there where a trident killer chews them up. So this is a multi-purpose farm. It gives me drowned, it gives me guardians, and it gives me ink. Now, I don't keep the ink, and you can actually see something just happened right there. There is an iron farm up here hooked up to an auto dropper where you can see there's an iron ingots falling right there. Iron golems die up there. Their ingots are shot out and funneled down into the collection area. So if we go down here, I affectionately call this the oil rig because that's what it kind of looks like to me. All the different spawning platforms and all that. Eventually, I need to go back and make this farm pretty. For right now, it's pretty basic. Come down here. I should probably turn this on before it glitches. But there, if you listen closely, you can hear there's no trident in there. So originally, there should be a... Actually, there it goes. Okay. That's not good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that. So, too many of them got in there at once, and that became a thing. So let's fly away and despawn those guys, and then fly back. So if too many of them end up there at once, it bugs out. But normally, Trident Killer's running and all their drops end up in these chests here and these chests here. The original gold from this farm is still here. I didn't do anything with it. This is quite a chest monster that needs to be torn out, but haven't torn it out yet. It is very loud down here, so a lot of the time I don't spend time here. What I do want to come get from here eventually, though, is all the iron. Because these iron farms have been running for a while and have never been properly taken care of. Nope. This stuff can just go in here, and while I'm here, I might as well grab some more fireworks. Nope, nope. There's haste 2 in this area from when I was originally working on everything, and even to this day, I still accidentally mine out the walls. Alright. Give me 1 second. Yeah, eventually I do need to take the time and make this a proper, like, farm. It used to have a nice storage collection area, and then I tore it out, and then I rebuilt it, and I tore it out, and I rebuilt it. So it's been a process. This massive beast in the distance is actually the first live stream I ever did in this world. This is my mob farm. This is where almost all of my mob drops come from now. So it's currently off. I could hear that when I flew by, so I'm going to go make sure to turn it on so that it doesn't cause too much entity issues. So if I go up here, you can see a bunch of mobs just spawned right there. Flick this lever, starts the Trident Killer. Flick this lever, starts the Trident Killer. And you can see items are already starting to pour out of this. Give it 1 second, this one will catch up too. You can see the items are starting to get just shot out of the farm. All of those items are then funneled down here into this storage system. I only collect gunpowder, bones, and then these generic drops. Any arrows or zombie flesh I just burn, simply because I have no real need for any more arrows or any more zombie flesh in this world. But this is the biggest farm and highest producing farm that I have built. Eventually, I want to take this module and build another one on this side. I just have not gotten to work on that yet. But this is where most of my mob drops come from. And just like everything else, it is connected to my Nether hub. What are we looking at here? An hour and 30 minutes? So we're kind of flying through this. I kind of expected to field more questions, but it looks like we're kind of just steamrolling right through it. Trying to think of any areas that I've missed. So, I'm just in awe. I appreciate that. Oh, I totally missed a whole part of the Nether hub. So, there are a few more farms out here. So, when I have to go out more than 1,000 blocks in a certain direction, I stop using this pattern, and I start using this pattern with boats. So this portal right here used to be the redstone shop that we saw earlier in the stream. And then this right here is the villager crop farms that we also saw earlier. But if we go way out on this run, we'll find our Froglight farm, my gas farm, which is the worst sounding farm of all time, and the mining desert. In this world, the closest desert was over 3,000 blocks from spawn. So I had to build another hub because it was a pain running there all the time. Anyways, for those of you who don't know, if you put a boat on packed ice, you absolutely fly. So you can get crazy, crazy fast. Oh, nope, my boat's gone. I jumped out on purpose, on accident. But we're kind of where we need to be anyway, so I'll pick this up. This is the worst sounding farm in my world. I hate this farm. But I needed it for when I was getting a bunch of end crystals. So this is a ghast farm. If we wait here for a couple more seconds, you'll see a ghast will spawn on one of those platforms, get picked up by a minecart, and then hit the wither rows. And they sit there and scream. And it is horrible. But all of their drops are funneled down here into here, so it's a kind of inefficient gunpowder farm. And it also gives me a bunch of gas tiers. But that noise is just horrible. Just horrible. So I only use this farm if I absolutely have to. They scream. It's like every time they take damage. So eventually this guy will try to pathfind, and he'll get picked up by one of those 2 hopper minecarts. Now imagine this farm when all 3 modules all have a ghast in them, and they're all screaming at the same. We're gonna leave this area. I don't want to listen to it anymore. We're running away. We're getting away from the ghast farm. But if we go down here, we reach the junction. So there's a few of us in chat right now. I'll give you guys the option. Do we want to see the Froglight farm first or the mining desert first? Which way do we want to go? Who wants to give me a direction? Frogs. Frogs it is. Brittany comes out first with frogs. Okay. So people were asking a couple streams ago how I have so many froglights. And froglights aren't the prettiest block, but they are useful in some certain builds. So I have a froglight farm way off here in the distance that I use to get all my froglights. And it's honestly a farm I should probably AFK here in the future. I'm waiting for my world not to load in time and for me to go shooting off. But this is a bastion right here that we're in. A piglin bastion that I cleared out. And part of this bastion is a magma cream spawner. So magma cream spawner obviously spawn magma creams. So first we have this guy, which he honestly needs to be repaired. So there's your magma cream spawner right there. They all spawn in this platform, attempt to attack our boy here. And it looks like some little ones must have gotten through and actually did hurt him. But they spawn in there. You can hear one just spawn right now. And then they fall down here. So in order to get froglights, frogs have to eat magma cream. So what this farm does is it forces the magma cream to fall into powdered snow. Now frogs don't take damage from powdered snow, but magma creams do. So you can see that it may not look it right now, but these guys are actually taking damage. So in a little bit, they're going to become small ones, at which point the frogs start eating them. You'll watch these guys will just start getting gobbled up. You can see a froglight dropped right there. Eventually, this. So all those. So we got another batch of mediums here. We'll wait for these guys to freeze and die. And then, oh, another big guy just spawned. But see, these guys just became little ones. And then they get gobbled up almost instantly by the frogs. And then the froglights get generated. So they're then picked up by a hopper minecart. And then go into this super simple sorting system. And there's a chest monster out here I need to come get to. But, so it technically gives you magma cream too, but you don't really need it. Must have taken you forever to get the frogs over there. You're good, Gray. Don't worry about it. Anything, you've missed most of the tour, I won't lie to you, but whatever you've missed is all saved over on YouTube so you can get caught up. It must have taken forever to get the frogs over. It wasn't so bad. I was able to put them in a boat with me and then just zip down this line. And then it was just a simple procedure of dropping them into the farm. Honestly, it was more of a pain to drop the frogs into the farm without them taking enough fall damage than it was to get them out here. But this is a Bastion Remnant. People are always curious what this is. Bastion Remnants can spawn with a magma cream spawner. And then let's go check out the mining desert now. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. And then down this way. So when 1.21 comes out, I'm probably going to have to make another one of these tunnels out for a few thousand blocks because I'm going to need new chunks. So, oh. I'll just watch what I missed on YouTube. That's why I split the stream, man. So that if anybody misses or they want to go back and watch what they missed, it's all available over on YouTube. So if we go out here for a couple hundred blocks, we'll reach the mining desert. Almost. There we go. Pick up our boat. And go through here. So again, unfortunately, the closest desert anywhere remotely close to spawn was thousands of blocks out. So all my sand used to come from beaches, and I destroyed a lot of beaches. And anybody who's watching me play Minecraft knows that, or has played Minecraft with me, knows I don't like to destroy stuff near where I'm putting other builds, because I like to kind of keep the natural look of the world. But give us a sec to load up here. Come on. There we go. Oh, and I have no hotbar. There it goes. So again, more allays out here. And then this is my mining desert that has been heavily, heavily destroyed. And bonus points to anybody who can guess what this farm is. Unless you've watched me for a while, I'm willing to bet nobody has any idea what this farm is. I'm going to try to fly up above it so you guys can see. Does anybody have a guess what this farm is right here? You might have a hint right there if you can see it loading. It's either a husk farm or a sand farm, so it's not a husk farm. There's no real allure to farming husks. Does anybody have another guess what this farm could be? It looks like another farm we saw earlier in the stream. There's a big hint right there hopping around. Might be really hard to see on TikTok. It's right underneath my crosshair. Bunnies? It's bunnies. So this is a passive desert bunny farm. So these little guys will spawn. This is a baby one, not a full-grown one. And then they attempt to jump into these holes right here. And then they fall down into the water. So they are the only thing that can spawn up here. Eventually, this little guy will pathfind around, not realize these are open, and then fall into the hole. I know it's not everybody's favorite thing, but there's then a trident killer underneath with no trident in it. This allows me to get rabbit's foot and stuff like that passively from rabbits. I know that it's not everybody's going to like that I made a farm that capitalizes on killing rabbits. Sleep. I had never seen one either, but I figured the passive mob farm that I built would work out here, and lo and behold, it does. Lastly, in this area, this is a failed tropical fish farm, and then this is just a mesa biome that I've been using to mine stuff for. Somewhere in the distance out here, this is a ancient city, and I don't remember where it is because I had to save the coordinates. But somewhere in that general direction, there is an ancient city that I have raided. I just don't remember the coordinates for it. There's also pandas around here, and I need to get some pandas soon. Go to it. I have no idea where it is. So I had the coordinates saved on my phone, and then I raided it, took everything I needed from it, and I have not been able to find it again since. Actually curious if there's a panda. I really want to find a brown panda because I have not found one yet in this world. Anyways, I will 100% get lost if I fly around out here too much. I do not spend any time out here whatsoever. I'm guessing you fought in the... yes. I've beaten every boss mob in the game, one-on-one. of the boss mobs, the Warden is the hardest one-on-one fight. I'm trying to remember what's down here. Oh yeah, this is, I think, just an old mine. You should try to get a stack of enchanted golden apples. Maybe I will. I still need to find the armor trim. Is there just a full gold beacon down here? I think there is, isn't there? Oh yeah, this is just me exploring. That's all that's down here. Sorry to kind of get off tangent there for a second. Going back up the ladder now. This is also where we found the sniffer egg. Was out in the warm-ish ocean over here because this is also the closest ocean reef. But this is the only desert within 4,000 blocks of spawn. Had to raid like 9 to 10 ancient cities to find the silence armor trim, but it's sick. I'm jealous. I'm at 3 or 4 and I have not found it yet. Then again, I also haven't found the, what's it called? Words are difficult. Pig step. Of all the weird things to find and not be able to find, I haven't been able to find pig step yet. I found the netherite upgrade. Yeah, the music disc. Have not been able to find it. I know, it's annoying. I found the netherite upgrade before I found pig step. Alright. And just like that, we are back at the main nether hub. So when 1.21 comes out, I'm going to take this exact highway and go out another 1,000 blocks, which is another 8,000 blocks in the overworld, and that's where I'm going to set up my 1.21 base. I've already decided. Why is pig step so important? It's not really important, but I'm trying to collect every item in the game. Actually, have I gotten the ward armor trim yet? Let's look. A little less rare than science. I have one of them from the ancient city. I don't have the other one. I got the first armor trim from the first ancient city. I have not been able to get the second armor trim from the other ancient cities. Oh, this is also the portal that it tried to kill me last time I loaded through. We did just load a difference of 11,000 blocks. Because we went from the desert city, mining desert, to the 1.21 base, which could not be farther apart from each other. Oh, I don't know if this is going to load. Last time it didn't load, I ended up in the ground. We'll give it a second here. I'm just gonna be peaceful and hope the realm catches up. But we're gonna see. Not too hopeful right now. Come on. Oh, I heard a noise. Sounds like the area is loading. We just loaded 2 extremes of the world, so... Come on, Minecraft. You made a noise. That has to be a good sign. Yeah, it sounds like I'm dying in the wall. We'll see. Alright, well... I have a totem in my hand. Hopefully that works. If I die in the wall, I'm backing up my save. Just to make everybody aware, I will reload an old save of the realm. I'm not dying because Minecraft bugged itself out. If I die because I'm being stupid, I die because I'm being stupid. If I die because Minecraft bugged out, I'm resetting the realm back to before. Let's see if I'm in the wall. Everybody keep your fingers crossed. Yep. Whew! Again, Love that. I'm not going to the 1.20 base ever again. Ever, 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 ever again am I going to the 1.20 base. Am I in the same hole I was in before, too? I'm lower down this time. I'm in the same hole, though. Hey, look, this is where I escaped last time. I need a few more blocks to escape. Hold on. I'm in the same fucking hole I was last time. We will not be going to the 1.20 base anytime soon. That, or I'm gonna load the 1.20 base when I'm not split streaming. But I think we're in just about under 2 hours. That just about does it for everything in the world. I expected to field more questions, but so I expected it to run a little longer, but that's all right. I guess for the last little bit here, is there anything that people didn't get to see that they want to see? There's only a few of us in here right now, so I don't mind running around a little bit more if there's certain things people want to see. Let me know. Shoot them off. As I almost dropped my water. You already know I didn't see nothing, so I need to see. You missed the first hour and a half of the stream, Gray. I'm not redoing the first hour and a half of it. But it's all on YouTube. 1.20 base. You know what? It might load because by closing and reopening the realm, nothing's open. So I'll risk it again for you, Brittany, but if I die, it's on you. No, you suggested it. I mean, if I die, it's on you. Just, you have to live with it. Where do you get your wool for carpets and stuff? We can do that first. You're getting off the hook, Brittany. It might just be my nether portals in general don't like working today. Oh, nope, I hear running. Running's a good sign. I don't know why, but I know when it's running, it means I'm at least in the area I'm supposed to be. So, Brittany, or Emma, this is my industrial area. We reviewed this earlier in the stream, but there are over 30 farms in this area, counting my wool farm. So down here are all my modules for wool. How they work is, I know this one's running. It's getting black wool for the new base. How this works is there's a sheep, and every time the sheep eats the piece of grass underneath, the observer behind realizes that, shears the sheep, and then these pistons move the grass blocks around in order for a new piece of grass. So like right now, he's going to eat it, and then the pistons moved around a new piece of grass. So as soon as the sheep are able to eat, they're able to, so like he's going to eat again, and then more wool, and we're ready to go again. So it produces a crazy amount of wool when I AFK in this area. Most of these, as you can see, they're fully grown, have allowed their wool to grow back because the farms are off. Nope, it's pretty great. So again, give it a sec. Like you saw, that guy just ate. As soon as this sheep's ready to eat, he'll eat the grass underneath him, and it'll cycle more grass to him. Give him 1 second here. Oh, he ate. He was hungry. Are you hungry? Oh, there we go. Just like that, fresh wool and fresh grass. And then all of it gets sent down into here. They're a little low right now because I've gone through a lot lately, but these farms absolutely pump out the wool. So if you don't, if you keep them on, these will fill up overnight. So like, I don't know if I'm ever going to need this much orange wool, but that's why I shut this off, because I don't need that much orange wool. But I usually leave the black wool on, gray, light gray, and white on, simply because these are the 4 colors of wool I go through the most. And then back up here. I do want to do something at new storage that I was thinking of earlier. So here, I want one of you, one of you. I still need to go get the piglin head at some point. Alright, so Emma wanted to see where the wool came from. What's the next request? What do people want to see? I've been wanting to put those guys there for a while now. Prismarine Farm, got it. Well, actually, we'll sleep real quick before we go out there. We will go back to the Guardian Farm. Hi, Mr. Farmer. Go back to your area, buddy. I don't want you ending up in the Nether. The Guardian Farm was overproducing last time you checked. Ever since I was here, I made 3 new farms. Nice. So the Guardian Farm is this way. It wasn't overproducing. The Trident Killer wasn't on. And with the Trident Killer off, there's too many Guardians in the actual kill chamber, and they were popped out as soon as I turned it on. So, I'm gonna go this way. So this is my Guardian Farm. I call it the oil rig, because that's what it kind of looks like from the bottom, but you'll see here, Guardians will start popping up, and then they are all funneled down into this kill chamber in the middle that I'm going to make sure is on this time. Do I have a concrete farm? So, I used to have a gravity duplicator, if that's what you're referring to, and unfortunately, in one of the later 1.19 updates, they broke the ability to duplicate gravity blocks in Bedrock, at least effectively. But yeah, so there's a bunch of Guardians up there. They'll eventually fall down into here. It's super, super loud, but this is where all my Prismarine comes from. And then it does this. No, like, concrete powder to... Oh, I have several. So we will leave this area. So come on, swim up. So again, why I call it the oil rig is because it has all these long pylons coming out of the bottom. You are good, Emma. Don't worry. There's a very small one in the industrial area. There's a bigger one at the blasting district. Do not worry about apologizing. We are kind of flying through this tour, so if I miss anything, I want you guys to call me out because I want you guys to get your questions answered in this stream. So if we go back here, go around the corner. Back through here. So we are going back to the industrial area. So there's a very small one here. There's a bigger one. Are there anything husks are good for? Nope. Nope. They still drop rotten flesh. Their husks are not that useful. I mean, if you're using them for XP, I guess. I mean, I don't know why you would make a husk farm for XP, but I mean, you do you, right? So I don't have much concrete powder here, do I? I think I've already taken most of it to... Anyway, we can do proof of concept. So we'll say this is concrete powder in my inventory right here. You go to this little area right here. You take out the glass block. You place concrete powder right on this torch. And it'll eventually all be converted by this water right here. And then it turns into concrete, fills this whole chunk, and then thanks to the haste 2 in this area, you are able to insta-mine and collect it. But say you don't want to do that, you can go to the blasting district, which is currently broken. And I didn't realize, or I knew it was broken, but haven't done anything to fix it yet. Actually, all I need to do to fix it, I'm pretty sure. A quick look at it. I'm going to get blasted by a wither trying to fix this live on stream. There's no obsidian in there. Hold on. If we're going out there, I might as well get the stuff to fix it. And then show you guys what it actually does. So let's go grab some obsidian. So I'm going to try to fix a farm that's really hard to fix live on stream. And then if I do fix it, I'll show you guys how it works. But I also have no idea how bad it's exploded because I haven't really looked at it. Did not remember until we went and looked at it as part of the tour that it was all blown to hell. Alright. So to get to the blasting district, we need to go this way. And then this way. Yes, I really wish Bedrock had that as well. And then this way. And then in here. Why is the villager in the Nether? So where my storage base was, there used to be a village, and I tore the whole village out, put in my storage base, and they continue to wander into the Nether portal that's at the front entrance, and I haven't killed them yet. They might just not be there one stream, just to make everybody aware. People might come to a stream one day and be like, hey, there's no villages in the Nether, and mysterious circumstances might have happened to them. Alright, let's see how bad this is actually blown up. So, I don't know, any of the redstone damaged? No. Don't blow me up, don't blow me up, don't blow me up, don't blow me up. Okay. So that wasn't that bad. It wasn't that damaged. I don't know if any of the redstone got destroyed just yet. We'll have to see. Hold on. So, what this fancy thing that I'm scared of is... Oh. So, back in 1.19.51, it was possible to break and collect bedrock. So, what I have in there is a very angry trapped wither that gets damaged by this snow golem right here. And I'm trying to see if the dispenser is still there. Because if the dispenser is gone, this farm won't work. Break this really quick. Oh, the dispenser's still there. Okay, so this farm might still work. But, so every time a wither is damaged, it emits a melee attack. Well, that's how it's coded. It's called melee. And that melee only happens on one side of the attack. Hence, why this side looks a little different than the rest. So what happens is when you run any of the farms in this area, like Emma was asking about my concrete farm, it's right here, looks a little different than normal. So any of these have powder in them to demonstrate this? Okay. So let's say I wanted to run this farm. I hop up in this little area right here, and I place my powder. Just like the other... Actually, what's in here? Looks like I was making black concrete powder. We'll stick with that. So what happens is this is a dropper filled with black powder. You stand right here, hold the place button, and basically you infinitely place concrete powder. So you can bind this to a button on your keyboard or something like that, and just keep generally going and going and going. Now what happens over here is these are piston extenders. So these then push items down, or blocks down into next to our friend the wither. Now the wither... Oh, fell. I'm going to fire up one of the other farms in this area just to show you guys what's happening. Like, I'll turn on this cobble generator right here. And it's not the most efficient farm, I won't lie, but it has to be paced out a certain way. So these are all single piston extenders and moving stuff along. So right there, the wither got hit by a snowball and doesn't take any damage, but forces him to do his melee attack. So just like that, 4 more cobblestone were collected. Give it 1 second. You'll see this will refill. It'll get pushed. He'll take damage. Does his melee attack. Generates cobblestone. And it will do this infinitely until all of these chests are filled. That's why there's such a huge chest monster here. So part of concrete is this also works with concrete. So you can see we're starting to get into what we're in. Actually, I'm going to get hurt. Hold on. Basically, it will constantly produce anything I wanted. So if I was running a bunch of concrete powder, turns into solid concrete, gets generated like this. Thank you, Emma. So I had this originally in the end, back when you used to be able to contain a wither using obsidian. So originally, if you had a wither and you pushed obsidian into its core as it was spawning, it would lock the wither there forever. And then as long as the wither never saw another entity, such as a player, or an enderman or anything, it would emit its melee attack when blocks got close enough to it. Basically, I had a farm just like this in the end. And then eventually that mechanic got changed, and I had to find a different way. So now, to get into that, Dracos, I don't know really now if you can, but back in 1.19.51, you used to be able to break and collect bedrock purely in survival Minecraft. It was hard to do. It was a pain in the ass. It required timing, respawning the Ender Dragon at the certain point when TNT exploded, based with End Rock, or based with the End Stone. It was really hard to do, and you had like a 50% chance of getting like 1 to 2 pieces. So I did that for hours upon hours upon hours. And I finally got enough bedrock to completely encase a wither. So this doesn't look like it, but there is an end gateway in there that is also surrounded by bedrock. So that wither will never be able to escape his tunnel. And basically I can sit and run this farm infinitely. And just so this is where a good chunk of my cobble comes from, as well as a few others. And now that this farm is working, I'm able to show you guys more of what it does. So let me sleep real quick. So there's actually a few different farms in this area that all rely on that wither breaking stuff. Go back up here. These piston extenders will just run as long as I don't leave the simulation distance. So then, like I said, very simple piston extenders. They're not super fast, simply because it has to time up with everything else. But also in this area, I have a basalt generator, so I can run this all using 0-tick pistons. So if you watch, you'll be able to see. Like, I like watching this. I can watch this for hours. This simple system right here. This allows for blocks to be pushed through and blocks to come in from the side. So this will just constantly stream through blocks and just move them along until they get to the blasting chamber. So it works for concrete, cobblestone, basalt, and the recent addition to this one, mud. So this is a mud converter right here. It looks super basic, and that is because it is. Basically, you come up here, grab yourself some dirt, stand in this one spot, it converts the mud, and it keeps moving on the dirt. So if you ever needed to get a bunch of mud blocks, just like the concrete farm, you would just set yourself up right here, set up some way to hold down the right-click button, and then just let it go. See, it's not infinite mud, but as long as you're converting dirt, basically will sit there forever. And then this is a tree farm that I haven't used in a while, because the tree farm that was originally hooked up to it isn't hooked up to it anymore. But I'll show you kind of the consensus here. So let's find some wood. We'll say this is spruce wood. This used to be oak wood, but your tree generated, it was made so that they were always 5 tall. You know, you got a 5 tall tree that just generated in here. It gets pushed across. So this observer right here would detect the top of the tree, triggers, the entire tree gets condensed down bit by bit until it's in a 1-by-1 stream. All of the pistons retract. It used to be faster. I don't know why it's so slow right now, but I don't know if something changed in it. But then another tree gets pushed in, gets unlocked, it goes, takes the whole tree and condenses it into a 1-by-1 pathway, which then can be fed into the extender and then fed to the wither. So if you set up an AFK tree farm in the area, basically just constantly generating oak trees, which is what I used it for, and you don't have to worry because this would lock out your tree farm that used to be right there. And you can see that it would just constantly push them into the extender here. So as soon as like this makes it right here, this right there gets moved on, and then it would eventually feed its way into that. So I didn't get to really tour this area, but that's what this area does. Again, there's a reason I don't do tutorials, is because my redstone is ugly. It works, but it's ugly. Anyways, so this is, we kind of got a long way around saying it, but this is where all my concrete and stuff comes from. Is I'll set up myself AFK over here with usually several shulker boxes of concrete powder, and then just let the farm run itself. But, like, so again, just like before, all I do is I get myself wedged in here, grab myself some concrete powder, make sure above is loaded with concrete powder, and then just find the sweet spot. And then everything is timed up where you can just do this forever. There's a lot of black concrete powder in here. Definitely going to use it. That was a great extension on the tour. Thanks. I'm glad it... I thought this was more blown up than what it was, because it looked like there was a bunch of pieces missing. But it's nice that it was not as blown up as I thought it was. Alright, so... I don't know what more I have. So, little over... Ow. Didn't pop a totem. I want to point out, made the whole live stream, whole tour, the whole world, never popped a totem. Good, we were betting I was going to do at least... Wait, it's left. I went right last time and it was the wrong way. I went right. No, my farmer ended up in here. Damn it. Buddy, you were perfectly fine living in your little area. You did not need to come into the end hub. Nope. Alrighty then. Almost there. I fully died with a totem. It is possible. Definitely possible to die even with a bunch of totems. So I don't need that, I don't need that, I don't need that, I don't need that, I don't need that. Actually, why bother running it through that? Lots of farms. Do you have any large design-only builds, castles, mansions, and stuff? Yes, I do. So I'll take you guys out there. Take you guys to the cathedral. Put this away there. I'm going to need more golden carrots. Back into the Nether hub. Give me 1 second here, Lone Pine. Gotta get out to the cathedral build. Oh. Alrighty. Eventually, I think part of the plan is I'm gonna move... I don't want to move this farm. I really don't. I might just cut this wall straight back here and build a big room for that. I really like the way this farm is set up. I don't want to move it if I don't have to. Back out to the cathedral. I feel like we were just here. Oh, look at that. This world never loads as fast. So this is the cathedral. This is the biggest project in the world. This was a fully done on live stream project. And the last So it was all finished, and then the save corrupted, and I lost the end of it. So this is the biggest project in the world. Hard to picture on a phone or on... Oh, there's clouds right now. That's annoying. But hard to see. But the original cathedral did tower up all the way to here and then back down. But again, I lost about 20 to 25 hours off the save. And I have not had the motivation to come back and finish it. Sometime in the future, I definitely will finish it on stream. But are you playing with keyboard and mouse or controller? I play on keyboard and mouse. So it's a little bit more imposing when you're up underneath it. Kind of respect how big of the project it was. So I play keyboard and mouse on PS5. What the? Oh, I thought there was something loaded in the middle of my screen. I was very confused. No, a lot of people play Minecraft differently. I'm most comfortable playing Minecraft on a keyboard and mouse. It's just... Oh, give me that. Where I'm most comfortable, or how I'm most comfortable playing. And then, do you guys need a tour of my ender chest? I mean, there's a full video of it on my TikTok page, and it's the same one on my TikTok page as it is right here. It has not changed in 2 years. No, good to know. I'm proud of you for living in here this long, buddy. I mean, nothing can get in here to kill you, but you just refuse to leave. You're just pissing off my piglins. That's all you're doing. Also, there's a pretty good likelihood one of those piglins is going to get sacrificed to a charge creeper. 128 is logo map size? Yes. Oh, where am I? Oh, okay. Portals are really struggling today. We're going to fly to the map art area because I'm not trusting. Can't have a world for that long because I keep dying. Raid farms, man. Having totems is a total game changer in a long-term world. If anybody's curious who I'm also talking to, it's Lone Pine over on the YouTube side of things. He wants to go see the map art. How's my lecture doing? Lecture's doing pretty good. Come on, world. I know you're not going to be happy loading things in while it's raining. At least I didn't spawn in a wall that time. Correct, Emma. At least I didn't spawn in a wall. Come on, world. Come on now. I'll sleep real quick. Hopefully the rain goes away. Go away, rain. Go away. Yay. So, yes, so all the map arts of my logo and the name of the world is a 128 by 128 block map art in the world. So people always think I like use some sort of add-on or something fancy to get my logo and stuff into the world. Nope, it's just a big 128 by 128. Apparently a wandering trader died. Thing of wool. This was a fun project. Probably will never do it again. I like it. I place my map art all over my world. Any of my projects get a map art, and it was fun to do, but I will definitely not do another map art for a long time. What did you use to plan that? So I used an app on my phone called 8-Bit Planner. So how I knew what corner to start it on is this map right here is the original locator map for this area. So what I did is I created a locator map, went into this corner and said, found using blocks, found the exact corner of this area, and then did the same thing on that corner, and that corner, and I knew it was 128 blocks between there and there. All of the sea lanterns are 8 blocks apart, and so are the torches. So when I was using 8-bit planner, basically it gave me, it said, okay, square 1 is 8 by 8 solid black. Square 2, 3, 4, 4, and 6. And then when it got more intricate, it was like square 32 is a light blue block, then 4 black, then light blue, then light blue, then light blue. And I just repeated that over and over and over again until my whole logo was in my world. And then the map art looks like this. It was a good project. It was fun. Again, I enjoyed doing it. I probably won't do it again, though, because it was a lot of... Hold on, let me stare at my phone. 1, 2... Oh, nope, this isn't that. Oh, this isn't that. Oh, nope, this needs to be this color. This needs to be this color. For hours on end trying to get it done. The people who do this with, like, all the different block types, you know, all the power to you. But doing this with just the wool was tedious. And this was kind of like my little staging area. With just crap kept here. Oh, I took the map art with me. Nope. This stays there. This is a relic of that area. Ray, you gotta stop dying, man. Thank you, Brittany and Dracos, for catching me on not putting the map back. I almost didn't. He caught me. Alrighty, but that is where the map art is. Alrighty. Crack my knuckles. It's 10:30 now. Okay. Are you on Twitch also, or just here on TikTok? So I'm mainly streamed to TikTok. I use YouTube to save my streams. So, like, for this world tour, if anybody missed or came in late, they have the ability to go back on YouTube and see everything that we went over. Not what I meant to do, game. And then, like, earlier streams today, like, we had a 3-hour stream today where we built this new 64 furnace array and did this, that, and some other things. So if anybody missed that, they can go back in and watch. But, guys, I think that is going to do it for me tonight on the world tour. I hope you guys enjoyed. If any of you guys missed any part of this, it was a little under 2.5 hours long. All of it is saved over on It's Kinger IV at YouTube. You'll be able to find it. It's the same logo, same all that stuff. You'll be able to piece it together. Hope you guys had a great night. I appreciate everybody who was part of the stream, the new followers, all the likes, all that good stuff. I will, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'm planning to stream tomorrow. I don't know when. I don't have a time or itinerary yet. I know I gotta work out and get some stuff done around the house, but I will stream at some point. Again, hope you guys had a good night. Stay safe. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate all of you. Good night. And to those of you who are over on YouTube, I appreciate you guys for hanging out too. If you're watching this stream back in the future for a rundown through the world, you're awesome and all that good stuff. Subscribe, don't subscribe, like the video, don't like the video. I'm just doing this for fun. I'm not, no asks, desires, or wants. Just hope you enjoyed. Have a good night. Be safe. All that good stuff.